Hello everyone, my name is Nuno Ribeiro, and today we will be talking about growth and maturity in young football players. First of all, I would like to congratulate Marco Beato for his YouTube channel, Understanding Sports Science. For the last few years, I have been working in a football as a strength and conditioning coach. I am pursuing my PhD on the topic growth and maturation in young footballers. In today's presentation, we will discuss some of general concepts related to growth and maturation, and later we will address our latest published review on the impact of growth, maturation, and workload on young football players. In this way, I will seek to convey some of the risk factors identified in the literature. I hope you like it. Enjoy. Scientific knowledge in growth and maturation has been increased over recent years, namely in the context of football academies. As we can see here, the interest in growth and maturation in young football players has been growing a lot over the years. This graph shows the number of studies published from 2010 to 2024 based on PubMed. This shows importance of understanding growth and maturation when developing young players from elite academies. There have been several studies published over the last few years, mainly involving the impact of growth and maturation on different physical qualities. This video is a small example of what we can find in different sports around the world. At certain stages of young people's development, there is a tremendous impact of the effects of growth and maturation, which can have consequences, for example, on learning the game for late matures. We will now address three fundamental topics. Growth refers to the physical change like height or body mass. This is something we can measure. Maturation is a process of becoming an adult. This includes different stages, status, timing, and tempo. And the last concept is development, the combination of growth and maturation, along with how the player grows in other areas like social, emotional, intellectual, and motor development. Therefore, it is important to distinguish chronological age and biological age. Chronological age is a measure at a single point in time, distant from the date of birth. We can define as decimal age. Biological age is significantly more problematic, less predictable, and more difficult to access. There is a great individual variation in timing and tempo of adolescents' peak high velocity. Using a small equation, we can calculate the decimal age of each person. Biological age is a complex concept that cannot be solely determined by chronological age. Skeletal, sexual, and somatic maturation systems play a significant role, and understanding these variations is crucial for assessing an adolescent's development and potential. Within the various biological maturation assessment systems, most academies use somatic maturation as a reference method namely the Camis-Roche method. Within the various methods of assessing somatic maturation, the literature has told us that the longitudinal growth assessment and Camis-Roche provide an accurate uh, estimate of maturity status concerning peak high velocity. In the recent study by Monastery, 2024, it was possible to observe this reference regarding the use of longitudinal growth assessment. Regarding the maturity offset method, the literature has been clear in stating that the error in evaluating biological maturation is high, especially in the early and late matures. The original prediction equations, it means Moore around 2015 and Fraser around 2018, were simplified without a significant increase in estimation error. And the last one, the percentage of adult height. About longitudinal assessment of growth, as we know, development is non-linear, and the growth does not occur exponentially, with periods of great acceleration and others with less intensity, episodic, saltatory. Please note 2 points here. First one, some young people may experience a small growth spurt in mid-childhood at around 7 to 8 years of age. And secondly, some approximately estimated between 5 and 10% of the population can experience a post-adolescent growth spurt. So somatic maturation does not have a definitive endpoint, but it's often defined as a growth in height of less than 1 centimeter per year. And the representation of the typical growth trajectories for males and females, emphasizing the difference in the timing and intensity of growth spurts. It's a valuable tool for understanding the impact of growth and maturation on athletic development. Longitudinal data through adolescence can be used to find growth rates variables, turning points, and the peak high velocity of adolescent growth spurts. Combining growth partners with age data can be used as an indicator of maturation, known as age at peak high velocity. For example, in boys, reaches his maximal growth at 13.3 years of age. This would be 0.7 years earlier than the English population average, like 14.0 years. The takeoff age or one set of the adolescent growth spurt can occur between 7 and 13 years in girls and 8 and 13 years in boys. And this age, the age range at the peak high velocity or the maximum growth rates can be 9 to 15 years in girls and 12 to 16 in boys. The magnitude of the outbreak or peak high velocity can be 5-12 centimeters per year. And the time from inception to completion of peak high velocity can be 2 to 5 years. Following this partner, I have another concept that's important we talk about it. The best approach is to measure weights regularly and plot. With percentage of adult height, you would expect that it occur around 93% of adult stature, as peak high velocity tends to peak at 91%. Assessing peak weight velocity is useful as well as this signifies when the testosterone levels are rising and can be useful in identify any issues related to weight gain that might reflect growth-related or nutritional issues. We have seen such cases where peak high velocity occurs, but not peak weight velocity, which is often related to nutritional issues. The growth partner develops from distal to proximal, with a growth spurt in the lower limb and later in the torso region. Grow in trunk region that lasts longer than in the lower limbs. And another important point that the assessment of growth must always be framed with the population we are studying. The current generations come from different ethnicities and cultures, and the typical timing of growth spurts and the variation in growth rates between genders and across different populations. It can be used to inform decision making regarding athlete development and selection. In my understanding, evaluating and monitoring growth and maturation are fundamental to helping us understanding the individual development of each player. We will not have absolute and definitive certainties, since the growth and maturation process is dynamic and changes over time. However, through this ongoing process of evaluation and monitoring, we will be able to make important decisions in different areas that make up each player's long-term athletic development. By monitoring growth and maturation, it is important to pass this information on to decision making in terms of planning the training process. In this paper, we have compiled the various risk factors identified in the literature, which allows us to begin taking some steps from the point of view of interventions. The long-term development of young male soccer players involves a prolonged period of significant adjustments, highlighting the importance of studying the complex interaction between dynamic variables, including workload, and inherent elements like growth and maturity. This analysis examines the intricate connections involving the development, maturity, workload, and susceptibility to injuries among adolescent male soccer players. Significantly, these connections become prominent at the peak high velocity period, a crucial moment in maturation. Growth rates vary among individuals, and higher rates have been associated with the increased risk of injury in young soccer players, particularly during periods of rapid growth. Identify possible risk factors and understanding the complex connections between them is crucial to developing specific methods for reducing the risk of injury. This review we will allow practitioners to better understand the main modifiable and non-modifiable risk factors for injury and provide essential information focusing on practical strategies, facilitating more informed decision making by stakeholders. In this paper, we have complied the various risk factors identified in the literature, which allow us to begin talking some steps from the point of view of intervention. The primary aim of this review is to present a narrative review of the current literature and to understand the impact of growth, maturation, and workload on injury risk in young soccer players. About growth, Meticulous attention to assessment methods is imperative when examining the studies that seek to establish an association between growth and height injury risk. This scrutiny extends to details such as the duration of the studies, frequency of assessment conducted throughout their exclusion, and whether these studies provide values for the short-term reliability of each anthropometric characteristics employed in the indicator calculations. A comprehensive understanding of these methodological intricacies is crucial for discerning the robustness and applicability of the association findings, ensuring a nuanced interpretation of the relationship between growth and injury risk in this context of available scientific evidence. For example, the limitation arises from data collection spanning only a single season, rendering in the difficult to process to observe individuals over and subsequently extended period to construct to building growth curves models that can effectively capture the nonlinear nature of growth. This short time frame restricts to ability to determine nuanced partners and trajectories of growth, potentially limiting the depth and accuracy of analysis. This constraint underscores the importance of acknowledging the temporal constraints inherent in the study design when interpreting and generalizing the findings related to growth dynamics. Concerning the relationship between maturation and injury risk, it is essential to note some contradictory results in the available data, which may be due to methodological difference and limitations. The non-invasive methods used in various studies, such as the Camille-Roche equation, which predicts adult age using the player's height and weight, along with the height of the parents, and the Mirwal equation, which relies on anthropometric measures, are less accurate than the gold standard of growth adaptation techniques. Furthermore, most of studies have a cross-section or longitudinal design with a duration of fewer than 4 years. Therefore, individual must be followed for longer duration to model individual growth curves and estimate the age of peak high velocity. Analyzing these studies makes it possible to determine the need for more rigorous scientific research on the relationship between maturation and injury risk. From a detailed analysis of these present studies, the following consensus points arise. Early maturing athletes tend to have a higher incidence of injuries in general, and the period circa and post-PHV are associated with a great injury incidence and burden. Concerning maturity status, there appears to be a consensus that growth-related injuries predominantly occur in the period pre-peak high velocity and circa, whereas muscle injuries mainly occur post-peak high velocity. Regarding the association between the risk of injury and workload, there is a lack of evidence of an association between internal and external workload parameters and the risk of injury in young elite soccer players. Therefore, it is crucial to highlight some critical aspects of the available literature. First, there is a need for younger age groups to contribute more to scientific production, enabling the research community to examine studies that present data on external workload, including prospectively collected GPS data, and related them to injury incidence. The age of the sample examined was 16.7 to 18.9 years. There is needed for additional published data concerning the longitudinal training demands more than 16 years of young soccer academies. Although the scientific literature calls for the design of the longitudinal studies and the continuous monitoring of the players to evaluate the injury workload. There are few studies on this topic in soccer, especially in younger players. Therefore, it is essential to advance knowledge regarding workload and its relationship with the risk of injury and performance decrease. This can only be achieved by providing robust, objective, and reliable measures of external and internal workloads across different age groups of younger soccer players. Understanding how the different workloads are associated with the risk of injury may be fundamental for coaches, technical staff, and medical professionals to control and manage the training and match workloads of younger soccer players, intending to keep them as healthy as possible, optimize their performance, enhance their talent development. We can use the traffic light system to classify each player in terms of injury risk according to defined criteria in terms of growth and maturation. The period around peak high velocity and high growth rates are risk factors to consider. And comprehending the theoretical framework and scientific insights presented in this article is essential for effectively using knowledge to develop practical guides for coaching and managing young soccer players. A summary of helpful strategies is presented for considerations. First one, tracking injury risk factors, regular, example, 2, 3 times um, between amounts we can do this type of analysis, and monitoring the of risk factors is essential and can be accomplished by collecting growth and maturity data, for example, growth curves, particularly during the peak high velocity. Tracking player information. It is essential to establish a risk analysis of each player to reference crucial aspects such as the story of injury throughout the sporting career, regarding biological age, injury history, and physical condition. Individualizing training programs are crucial for young players to tailor programs according to their needs and development stages. Create an athlete profile. Develop each athlete's individualized athletic program, quality matching the status and timing of maturity. It is essential to promote the stimulus related to the period of development that the athlete is in, seeking on the hand to enhance their physical performance and mitigate any risk of injury. Assessment of biological maturation. Sport practitioners can refine their assessments of athletes' maturity levels by incorporating in the percentage of predicted adult age using Camis-Roche method as example. And the last 4 points, the first of them, management workload. To reduce non-contact injury risk, gradual workload progression should be implemented for young soccer players, especially post-period peak high velocity, and monitoring training intensity, volume, and recovery periods ensure a well-balanced and progressively increased workload. Analysis of tracking system and workload, incorporating GPS tracking devices and sports monitoring software allows coaches to evaluate players' external load. By adequately analyzing data to measure distance and speed, coach can discern trends and partners, indicate a higher likelihood of athletes being prone to injuries. One of the most important collaborative approaches, effective implementation of injury reduction strategies, requires essential collaboration among coaches, strength and conditioning coaches, medical departments, and other stakeholders. And the last one, education and awareness, educating players, parents, and coaching staff on the significance of injury reduction and the various elements that affect growth and the development is crucial. By cultivating a climate that promotes conscientiousness and comprehension, thus with vested interest can actively participate in endeavors to avoid harm. Offering information and guidance on nutrition, hydration, sleep and recovery measures enhance young soccer players' overall well-being. As the practical applications, it's important integrating these tangible uses into coaches' strategies and athletes' supervision methods promotes a proactive strategy for reducing injury risk and enhancing the performance of young soccer players. Growth and maturation are just one piece among the many pieces involved in the process of long-term athletic development. Is not exclusive but inclusive and differentiated. Thanks a lot.